Welcome to Sad Boys, a podcast about feelings and other things also. I'm Jarvis.
And I'm Jordan. Did you know, I think, according to some stuff I saw, I think it's Bisexual Awareness Day. So happy Bi Day,
Yeah,
everybody.
Bi Visibility Day. Happy
Bi-visibility.
Happy Bi Visibility Day, everybody. We are joined by a very special guest today. The one, the only, I think, Courtreezy.
Hello.
Thanks so much, Courtreezy, for joining us.
Yeah, it's nice to be
Thanks for
here.
coming. Can you prove that you're the only one?
I'm sure there's other imitators out there.
Yeah, I'm sure, but I'm definitely
Clowns.
just Courtreezy.
Is it okay if we refer to you as Courtney for the podcast, or should we?
That's cool. That's cool.
Have you ever been referred to by Courtreezy, like by just like regular people in your life?
My sister calls me Courtreezy now, like every time.
Really?
Oh, that's
now.
that's
It's like a new thing.
I like
for her.
that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just my sister.
That's cute though.
Yeah, I don't hate it.
That's cute. Content support. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's like
sister,
that's how you know
sister second, subscriber first.
Yeah.
that's how it should be. You know, assert your dominance in the relationship. So we're gonna talk to Courtreezy, learn about her story because I'm curious because we don't know each other. D'Angelo just mentioned Courtney's content, and I checked it out. I loved it. Jordan checked it out. He loved it, and then people started asking for you, and we had to give the people what they want, and it was also what we wanted as well. So
Yeah.
so thanks so much for joining us.
Wow.
What I love so much about, because I went ham over the weekend. I like ate up your entire channel like over the weekend, and it's nice.
Oh, it's you gobbled it up. It's actually gone now because you ate it.
I smoothied it and I drank it. In fact,
Wow.
it's my MacBook. I'm not well. It hurt, but it was like it's almost feels like having a warrior on our side for TikTok. Like, so
True.
attacking all the pieces I don't like.
Yeah.
Thank you.
A TikTok warrior. Yeah, we'll get into that. But first, Courtney, how was your week?
It's been good, you know. The only bad thing about this week is that my allergies were acting up, but I'm good today, so it's all good.
Shout out to the allergy gang. Are you a fan of the antihistamine, the Zyrtex, the Claritins, the Benadryls?
Huge fan.
I'm also an allergy boy. Back when I was in elementary school, they called me snot nose because my nose was always running, so that was fun.
That's fucking
Yeah.
awesome.
I know, yeah.
Crazy.
Now I stay strapped with a bunch of Zyrtec in my closet. Just
Same
like
here.
I have to take it every day.
That's crazy.
Can I call you Snot Nose? Is that chill?
No. Well, I mean, yeah, go ahead and call me snot nose. It's fine.
That's pretty
It
close.
won't bring back any old memories or anything. Courtney, like, are you doing YouTube full time, or do you have like a job outside of it, or what's the deal? I don't even know.
I was actually supposed to go into nursing school literally this fall, yeah. And then
wow.
I decided, I'm going to do it full time. Yeah, it's crazy.
Whoa! Congrats to you. That's
thank you
so
so much.
cool.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like a dream come true. Because it is actually
That's
something
so
I've always
awesome.
wanted to do, and it's finally happening.
That's so amazing. Yeah, congrats to you. What a
thank
great
you.
birthday gift.
Yeah.
And congrats to you on
Thank you.
taking that initiative too. Like, it's easy to say like, hey, if my channel was kicking off, then I'd probably go full time. But you have this roadmap already,
Yeah.
and to say like, no, fuck that. This is the thing that I want. I'm going to do that because
Yeah.
I always have. That's actually really cool.
It's crazy.
Nurseries would hit different.
Oh my God. Yeah, my parents used to say that if I did end up going to nursing school, I should just make nursing videos on YouTube. But I don't think it'll hit the same.
I'm going to go ahead and say, make whatever you want on YouTube, and it doesn't have to have anything to do with your career, young Jarvis, who's making videos about software engineering because they get views. No, but that's so amazing. Well, okay, so we'll get into this stuff. I guess I should ask Jordan how his week is. So,
Okay,
Jordan, what are you up to? How's it going?
That's okay. That's very kind of you. I know you don't like hearing about it.
I know.
I don't particularly like people knowing that I had a week. I like the idea that I just sit here and I change clothes between podcasts, which not hugely untrue. Actually pretty close. I literally live in this chair. I would say 15 hours out of the day I'm sat in this chair for sure.
Is it a good chair? Is it providing you lumbar
It's a
support?
very bad chair. Here's here's a little insight. It's literally just like a crappy dining.
Oh, no.
No.
But I have never felt better in a chair. It's wild.
I can't.
Something about it's the lack of ability to move, forced lumbar and spine support. My feet are always straight on the ground, nice firm back. Because I'm a big lanky lad, right? So usually I'm spilling over like an office chair and I'm sliding around and trying to get comfortable. And with this bad boy, I'm getting a Doppler effect on the mic. I'm sliding around. And on this bad boy, I'm just like, I'm sat up straight the whole time because I'm just on my keyboard. I look like I'm an actual adult, if you can imagine.
You know, it sounds like Stockholm Syndrome to me, but I'll take you at your word.
It likes me. No, the chair fucking likes me, dude.
Enjoy your...
We're actually really close.
Enjoy your chair from 1943.
Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh.
We've had a good professional week, too. We're paying Jordan now through the podcast. Jordan's job is officially now to just be a sad boy and also stream. So that's exciting.
It's kind of wild.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
It's
talk about put things like the moment a thing presents
dreams.
itself, just put the rest away. Yeah, man. We're very lucky.
I remember when we were still at Patreon and we would like record this podcast that nobody was listening to, and we would get so hyped on it, and then we'd be like, man, like, wouldn't it be cool if one day we could do this as like a job? But that seems so far away at the time. Mm-hmm. And so it's nice to take a step back and be like, it's happening. The thing that we never knew would happen is happening. And that's so cool.
Yeah. Because Ali would always say, it feels like it's like, I don't know, like 30 months away, more or less, like maybe 2.5 years. That seems like about the exact amount of time it would be. And I feel like specifically you'd be doing YouTube and this podcast. Like that guess was wild that we were able to guess that accurately.
Congratulations, though. That's really good.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. One fun thing is that we have a recording of when we started the podcast, because Jordan and I, we weren't as good friends as we are now, but we were like, we have a good rapport, so maybe it would be fun to do a podcast together. And we recorded for 2 hours us trying to come up with the premise of a podcast. So one day we will release or play the inception of this podcast. There was a moment where we like came up with the name, where we get like really excited about it. We're waiting for a good time for that.
It's a title card moment in the movie.
There is a point, I will give a little teaser, where at one point we were considering calling the podcast Mocha Boys, which is just, well, actually, originally the show is going to be called Talking White, because we have both always sounded like this our whole lives, and you know how black people do. And it's like, I like grew up in like a very sort of de facto segregated town. I didn't even know white people until I was 13, and I sounded like this the whole time. And I was like, I don't know what you mean. I don't know any white people. You know what I mean? So it's like, but yeah, fun times all around.
I was actually going to ask Courtney, what kind of space did you grow up in? Did you have a similar experience at all?
No, it wasn't segregated at all. Like, especially my high school and my middle school, it was mixed. Like all types of races. Yeah. I mean, I guess elementary, it was a lot of... It was mostly a black environment, but when I went to middle school and when I moved and everything, it was really mixed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My stuff was like in the 60s or whatever, when my hometown was integrated. It was kind of one of those like redlining situations where everybody who was black lived on the east side of town and everyone else lived on the west side of town, where there was all the like economic expansion and stuff. My elementary school was like on the east side of town, and it wasn't until I was in like a gifted program, quote unquote, you know how that is, I was able to go to a school outside of my school zone, and that was when I was like introduced to people who like came from like a different socioeconomic background.
Wait, did you say you went to school in the 60s, or it was like the 60s?
No. Oh, I went to school in the 60s. I'm actually 107 years old. Yeah. Black don't crack, man. It's just, it's crazy.
Or age at all.
No, my town was, I know from like the history of Gainesville, Florida, where I grew up, it was integrated in the 60s and like 65 or something.
Okay.
That's when they started allowing the mixing of the races.
Wow.
But, you know, Florida be crazy, you know. It's a good thing Florida turned around and never became problematic, and everyone from Florida is known for their upstanding citizenship and just being a good person.
Now, you don't know that for sure, but you assume you haven't checked in a while.
I assume. I left when I was 18, but when I left, everything was on the up and up, and I presume that everything in Florida is good now. Is that wrong?
I'm too afraid to correct you.
Oh, you guys look concerned. I'll look into this after the pod.
I always hear bad stuff happening in Florida.
Oh, that's true. I mean, yeah, Florida sucks. But the reason is that The reason for the Florida man situation is because there's like some law in Florida where like every like minor incidents of crime or whatever has to be like written up. And then there's some way that it gets promoted to like a national, I can't remember the reason, but basically the reason that everything is Florida man is because basically everything that has a police report in Florida is public record. And so there's just a ton of like record of all this shit happening, whereas other places don't necessarily have that much transparency. But still, if Florida also is problematic for 1,000 other reasons, and we don't have to talk about how I'm from there. I like to forget it. Where did you grow up, Courtney?
I was born in Dallas, Texas, and raised in Houston, and that's where I still am. So
wait, is D'Angelo in Houston or where is he? D'Angelo Wallace is in Texas.
Oh, really?
And I can't remember, might have to connect the dots there.
He's looking for
Texas
you.
Gang. He told us, and I just am a bad friend. So what was your introduction to YouTube like? You mentioned that like you're living out a dream now, but like where did that dream come from? Like what were your influences that kind of put you on this path?
Okay, so my freshman year of high school, I made a channel with my best friend. And we were mostly inspired by, I don't know if you know them, Keen and Sam. I've talked about it in a video, but Keen and Sam, I think they also had a group channel. It was called Our Second Life. And so I just loved them. I love them a lot. Same with my best friend. We just love them. And so we decided we were going to be like the black version of Keen and Sam. The black female version. But yeah.
Yeah.
And so we just made that channel. And then after that, I think we stopped posting and then made our own separate channels. And now it's actually coming to fruition, I guess.
When did you start your channel, like like the Courtreezy channel? Did that start like back in high school or?
It was the summer before freshman year of college. So that was 2016, I think. 2016.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's kind of wild that's now like I feel like there's a whole generation of YouTube where their dream was always to be creators, right? Like that's the dream. And then YouTube was the right conduit for that or whatever site they use. And now it's, no, YouTube is the dream from like day one. Like a 5-year-old kid wants to do that.
Yeah.
And they grow up and that's the thing they shoot for. It's kind of nice. Like it's nice to have a more focused goal.
Yeah.
It's like, I want to make stuff. I don't know where.
It's crazy. Because I know when I first started my channel, YouTube or becoming a YouTuber was weird. Like I didn't even like telling people at school. I hated it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. One time somebody played my YouTube videos in history class.
What?
Yeah, it was horrible. I hated it.
How is it now? What's your comfort level?
I'm really comfortable now. I mean, especially since like a lot of people have seen my channel already. I'm really comfortable compared to how I was in high school and maybe even the beginning of college. I'm way more comfortable. Yeah. I didn't like when people played my videos in front of me. I mean, I'm still like that, but I can handle it a little bit better.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, one time I had a video of mine played in what was essentially a job interview. But it was I made my channel when I was 14 and like there were just like shit posts on it and just like me dancing to High School Musical. And so someone played one of those. Yeah. Someone played one of those like videos from 2007 of me dancing to High School Musical. And that was weird. It was like a group interview thing. It was for like an oil company. I didn't want to work there.
How did they even find the video?
So my friend Naomi told the people about it. And so they played it during like this group interview lunch thing. At that point, I was able to own it.
Yeah.
It was weird like posting stuff as a teen, but I took a very, very long break because I was afraid I had like videos go viral early on in my like youth. And then I was afraid of not being able to like best myself, not being able to like get more views. And I was afraid of like public failure. And so I was like, oh, well, I just won't post for 10 years. So that'll be my solution to that
Can't
problem.
fail. Courtney, I guess that's a new kind of question now that it's your main focus, but do you have that anxiety still that like next video could be the trash one? Like this could be it.
Yeah. Especially when my first video that blew up, I was so nervous about posting another video because I wasn't sure if I was just getting subscribers and they weren't going to watch my videos or like if they watched the next one, it wouldn't be as funny as the first one. And it was a lot. It was a lot. I still kind of feel that way now. But yeah.
I mean, I was going to say that's such a very relatable experience for people who especially are going through the period in their YouTube careers or their creative careers that you're going through. Cause like for context, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but you've probably gotten like 200,000 subscribers in the past couple of weeks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's that been like? Like, I know you've started speaking on it, but I'm very curious like what that's been like and how you're feeling about it, because it's something that I went through at points in my career. It's a very unique experience.
Yeah, I'm still shocked, honestly, because it happened so fast. Like literally the beginning of July or the end of June, whatever, I had 36,000 subscribers. And so,
oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's so crazy to like,
wait, for context, that's like almost 800,000 subscribers in July, August, September, in like 3 months.
Jesus.
It's crazy. I don't know. I mean, I'm not as nervous and as scared as I was in the beginning, but it's still very shocking. But I'm so grateful for everything.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that you're, well deserving of your platform. You're a very talented and, gifted creator who's putting in the work. And I mean that you deserve every ounce of like attention that you're getting for the stuff. So
yeah, thank you.
Do you ever doubt that? Do you have the little self-esteem moments where you're like, is this my right to be getting the, yeah?
Yeah.
We'll tell you how good you are anytime.
Yeah. I don't know if it's called imposter syndrome or whatever, but I sometimes feel like maybe this is, I don't know, like it's an accident or something. I don't know. It's weird.
Oh, that's imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
There's all these people around me that deserve it and they got it right.
Or I feel like it could just go away. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Like you'll be found out as a fraud.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very classic conundrum.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You get an email from YouTube and they're like, all these subscribers accidentally landed
we've made
on
a
your
mistake.
video.
Yeah.
Whoops.
It's a box of oops, all subscribers. Like, whoops, we spilled all these subscribers on your channel by accident. We've got to like scoop them back up.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I just feel like, I don't know. Sometimes I have that moment. Like, there's some days where I'm like, okay, yeah, I definitely deserve these subscribers. But then there's some, it's like, oh, what if they like later on find out that I'm actually not that interesting and they don't really like me, Yeah.
Yes, relate, but I think that like to counter that, there's also so many things that your audience finds appealing about you that you may be even taking for granted because you are with yourself all day, every day. Something I struggled with early on was I need to always be topping myself. And if my previous videos aren't as good, then people will get disinterested in stuff. And then I made a second channel where I like didn't try as hard on videos and people like really continued to resonate with them. And I realized it's because of a lot of just intrinsic qualities that come out when I share my opinion on things and stuff that are not things that I think of, right? So I can say that like, and this is something that was bestowed upon me. So I'm sharing with you that like, I do not have those same fears for you, just as I do have them for myself, but it's like, cause it's like very natural, but just know that if you just keep following your curiosity and keep doing what's interesting to you, your audience is going to connect with that. And like, you're doing everything right. So like, I wouldn't even, like,
thank you so much.
It's silly to say I wouldn't even, it's silly to say that don't even stress because it's a stressful situation. It's scary. You don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
I remember when my channel was like blowing up, I was frantically checking the analytics because I was afraid that all the growth was going to stop.
Yeah. Same.
And I was like, okay, when's the cliff going to end? And it's like weather to a certain degree, right? Like at some point, things will start to ebb and flow, but that all comes with the territory. And it's as long as you're listening to yourself and just paying attention to the audience, like truly, like you got this. Like I just want to like be validating as many people because it's like I stressed out a lot unnecessarily. So like take it from me. You've got nothing to worry about.
Thank you so much. That means a lot.
Do you know a lot of people in the scene? Like, do you chat to a lot of people that do similar stuff? I guess now has been kind of a bad time to
Yeah, I only talk to like about one person that I talk like almost every other day type of thing, but other than that it's like TikTokers, which is really weird. But yeah, I talk to a few TikTokers.
How is that? How is the TikTok space? Like, what is your background actually with TikTok, I guess, is a first question.
I just make random videos every now and then. And so every time I make a video or it goes on the For You page, it's nice to see that people recognize me from YouTube. And I think it's mostly because I make a lot of TikTok related YouTube videos.
Right.
From doing that, I've been able to make quite a few TikTok friends. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's almost like we're in like different cliques at at the lunch tables or whatever.
At the lunch table?
Like we're all at the same creator school. It's like, hey, the TikTokers seem nice. I just don't know how to like say hi.
Yeah.
Courtney over here, just the chameleon flowing between all the tables.
Honestly, that's how it
beloved by all.
When you're looking at TikTok and looking at like, I'm making content about this, is a lot of the stuff coming from people's suggestions, or is it like a bit of that and your own personal experience through the app? Because I like haven't done a TikTok deep dive in a while, but there's so many little corners of it, like so many random communities.
Yeah. So much. It's a mixture of the two. Like I did the sibling video. I don't know if y'all saw that, but I was
yes.
From me personally.
Unfortunately, I did see it.
Yeah, so that was from me personally finding them, and then I saw someone suggested to me, but it wasn't because of them being siblings. It was because the girls baby talk, and so it's a mixture of both. Honestly,
yeah.
But yeah,
baby talk is challenging. That's challenging content.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about some of these TikTokers. One series that you have on your channel, just for people who aren't familiar with you, is reacting to TikToker apologies, saying the N-word.
Yeah.
And
which they just love to do.
They just love to do it.
They love to do it.
Is part of it that they don't see other people get in trouble for it?
I don't understand.
Because it can't be, this is chill, right? It's like, no, it's like murder. Like people go to jail for, you see it all the time, right? Like you see people get cancelled. So what makes you think that you can take a swing at this?
I'd say it's their sacrifice to fame. Like I feel like they have to do it so they can just become famous. Because it seems like every famous TikToker says the N-word, and I don't understand.
You're right. It is brave.
Yeah.
Someone has to say it, and I think it's got to be I can't even name a TikToker right now.
I'll take a guess. Dillinson.
They all have two first names, I feel.
Yeah.
It's always like Blake Charles Blake. Boom, two viral TikTokers right there.
They're currently in a feud.
Yeah, they were both dating Jessica Marie. It sounds believable, I think.
She's one of 11 siblings.
My theory on this has to do with the fact that they're young and their brains haven't fully developed.
Yeah.
And the last thing to come is like understanding long-term consequence.
Yeah.
And there's also this like kind of hard-headedness of like teenagers where you tell them they can't do something
and they do
like,
it.
But I want to do it though. And it's like,
there are no stakes for me here. And usually, like, if I was, I had my edgy bullshit teen phase. I think we all get a little angsty and annoying at a certain point and think that we're cooler than we are, certainly. Not like, not cool like we all are now. Incredibly cool and beloved. There's like...
Speak for yourself.
We have no... Like, as soon as you're a TikToker with a platform and you're still the age of people that think they're invincible, then you're in trouble. Yeah. As opposed to just being, hey... I'm a kid and I'm edgy and I'm at school, but I know 11 people, and worst case scenario, I have to apologize to one person ever, as opposed to, wow, 3.2 million people watch this, and I just kind of have never had consequences for anything I've done before. I've been grounded, like maybe.
Real quick. I don't want anyone who's a teenager or anyone who's listening who's a teenager to feel like we're shading them. We're only speaking about people who have been granted a lot of power and attention and feel like invincible as a result. And it's not like I was also a teenager not doing this problematic shit. You know what I mean? So I was dancing to High School Musical too. I mean, I thought it was a productive use of time in that moment. And I was saying the N-word, but I was allowed to. Sorry, kids.
The music was too loud to tell.
Yeah, the music was too hard to tell. But no shade to teens in general. It's really just like a combination of power and a lack of accountability.
Yeah.
And also an environment that doesn't allow for, or an environment that kind of enables this stuff. Because I don't know about you guys, and I'm talking a lot, so I will just pass this off to you. Do you think that there's a bit of all criticism is just the haters going on? Like where people feel like, oh, if you're criticizing me, you're just a hater. Because that's a thing that I run into a lot with commentary, where it's like, if I say that Dan Bilzerian has done some pretty problematic things in his past, people are like, you're just upset that he pays for models to hang out with him. And I'm like, I don't think you'll ever believe me, but I'm not jealous of that. You're just gonna have to take my word.
You're criticizing him for the things that he did because he can bench more than you, bro. What do you think, Courtney?
I can see it like that. I also feel like it depends on the way that the message is delivered, because I can still see how you can make criticism and people will see it as hating. But yeah, like I said, I feel like it really just depends on the delivery. But then there's some people that just reach. Like, they'll just try and call anybody a hater that has a different opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the thing. Like, it kind of makes me think of like us all living in our own echo chambers and stuff. But even when good faith criticism, or like you take the Shane Dawson thing, and it's like people will bend over backwards to excuse stuff. And it's like, you actually don't have the platform to excuse.
Yeah.
I saw a Shane Dawson video the other day where someone put on a mask of Obama and then he beat the guy, and just like the joke was that he just kept beating him with a bat. And I was like, whoa, guy. Like, and people are like, it's old jokes, it's but
Also, notably, he was not a teenager.
Oh yeah, he was like 30 at this point.
He had all the brain points available to him, and he just spent them wrong. I think the hater thing is probably easy to shout out. If you're a teen, right? Like, let me just get on teens a little more. No, if you're being validated by those 3.2 million people that did watch the video and did hit you with a like, and you are getting hate, the hate is never, ever going to outweigh the number of positive lurkers.
Yeah.
Ever. It's literally impossible. So worst case scenario, a small number of people proportionally are like, hey, what you did was messed up. And you're like, well, but I still got all the thing that I wanted.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not losing anything, especially if you're a kid. And like, I mean, I guess you could lose a brand deal or something, but you're not in the same kind of professional jeopardy you would be as an adult
Exactly.
that got in trouble like that.
Yeah.
If you're like us, the three of us, it is all just haters. We've never done anything wrong. If somebody says you've done anything wrong, no matter how eloquent or nice it is, they're jealous probably or something.
Hating.
Do you get that at all though, actually? Do you get hit with some hate that you feel purely comes from a...
Yeah, I think I'll...
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I do. But I don't really get a lot of hate at all, actually, most of the time.
Oh, yeah.
And if I do, I just don't see it.
I found that it would be good for my mental health to block every configuration of the N-word in my comments.
Oh.
Because while it is sometimes coming from Black people, it is often coming from people who I cannot verify should be saying the word, aka anime avatars, etc. And I'm like, maybe I just have a hard and fast rule here, because I'm not here to like take you to N-word court and like decide whether or not you should or shouldn't say the word.
That's a good name for a series though. N-word court.
It sounds like a Chappelle Show sketch.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that's why we have to get it right now before that handsome son of a bitch takes our idea from us. Dude, Chappelle has the drip. Is anybody talking about this enough? Chappelle actually is full drip. Yeah, he's wearing like the nicest long lines ever.
He's turned very buff. The thickness of his neck keeps me up at night.
That's right. All the jokes he stores in there.
He stores jokes in his neck. Courtney, what kind of stuff, like outside of creating content with a capital C, do you like to do? Do you have any like hobbies or anything that like, or any interests like movies, TV, any sort of media stuff?
Oh, I feel like this sounds so superficial, but I like shopping. But other than that,
it's not superficial.
Yeah.
Can we
not at
can
all.
we like hit pause and say like, hey, if you like shopping, that's a perfectly valid thing to like. And don't let society tell you that it means anything because you have a certain... It's kind of like if you like sports, it's like, oh, sports ball or whatever. And it's like, oh, you like shopping, and it's like you're a stereotype. And it's like, no. How about people are three-dimensional? And I like shopping, frankly.
I love it to a detriment. Sometimes it's a problem in my life.
But yeah, I like shopping. And other than that, I like watching TV shows every now and then. I don't really watch movies that much because I always fall asleep. I don't know why.
Okay.
What's hot in the TV show loop for you right now?
I'm actually not watching anything. The last thing I watched was Greenleaf. Have y'all heard of that?
What is Greenleaf?
It's just about a church family in a church.
Oh.
And just the drama that happens in the life of church members. Honestly, that's it.
Were you a big churchgoer growing up, or do you go to church now?
Yeah, I still go to church now. I mean,
Cool.
Well, my family doesn't physically go to church right now, but yeah.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
Probably for the best.
Is that like legit? Is that like Zoom church? Is that a thing?
Oh, there is.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Can I tell you?
They live stream the church every Sunday.
So when I was doing research for like setting up our Sad Boy stream and stuff, a lot of the tutorials and YouTube videos I was finding were for specifically like running virtual church. And there is someone used the phrase worship technology. And I was like, whoa, that is two words that I'd never expected to see next to each other. But yeah, so shout out to all of the virtual churching that's going on.
Yeah.
Virching?
Oh, no, we don't like that. No. No.
Courtney, feel free to like talk about it to your comfort level, obviously. But like, what's your background with your faith, and like, is it helping you especially right now? I assume it would have to.
Yeah. It's been helping me because, during times of, I guess, stress and anxiety, I feel like I can just rely on God to like, keep me going.
Yeah. And I think that like now is a good time to say that like I grew up in a household like going to church and stuff, going to Baptist church. And while I'm not like religious at all now, I have seen so much, it's like I think that like church as a big entity and sort of certain churches deserve all the criticism as an organization that they get. But the amount of safety and good feelings and just like community that has come from church, in especially like just in Black communities that I've been a part of, is so comforting and so good. And I can never take away that from someone based on my own like personal beliefs that are my own. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One thing I don't like is that people on the internet like to be like all snooty about shit. It's like you're missing the point. Like, let people live their lives, let people have like what works for them.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure if we put a microscope on anyone's life and actions, you could criticize it. You know what I mean? And so it's like if you're not harming anyone, then like let people, I don't know, just let people like do what they do.
I think it feels nice sometimes to feel like, especially on like Reddit, to feel persecuted, to be like, oh, these friggin' Catholics, they hate me being an atheist, they can't handle it. And it's like, okay, you might have gone to a place like Westboro Baptist Church. They're terrible people.
Lord.
They get a special personal hell, and it's just like full of dog shit or whatever. The vast majority of people that are even a skosh religious truly do not give a shit if you're an atheist. It is so uninteresting.
Yeah. No one cares.
Not even like bipartisan, like, look, I'm willing to accept you. It's not even that. They just don't care at all. Like, it's just not a part of their life. And I think the indulgence of like, I scare them. So it's my intense belief. So like, I was such a huge fan of Ricky Gervais growing up. He's like an essential comedic influence for me. And his Twitter is so embarrassing. It's so atheist dad now. It's so just like him replying to like a mum from Wisconsin saying like, actually, Jesus is going to judge you. And he's like, oh yeah? Well, bitch. And it's just like, what is, like, go swim in your infinity pool, brother. What are you doing?
Yeah. You're actively like pissing on your own legacy by like looking like a clown right now. It's like why J.K. Rowling could have just shut her mouth and like lived out life as like a publicly liked person. And we would have forgotten all the stuff about like hook-nosed goblins who run Gringotts Bank and like Cho Chang and all of these things that like when you go back and look at it, you go, oh, maybe that was kind of a little problematic, maybe. And then like she would have gotten away with that scot-free, but then she was like, no, I'm gonna dig my feet in on being a bad person, I guess.
Wait, what did she do? Because I heard that like everyone hates her now, but I don't know. I didn't look into it.
So essentially like, well, okay. So jumping back to what Jordan was saying about the narrative that like the atheist edgelord has about like organized religion, it's like, who are you dunking on, right? Like who are you dunking on? You're dunking on like Wisconsin mom who like likes going to church on Sunday and like going to a buffet afterward. That's what we did when I was a kid or whatever, you know. And it's like and it's like, what have you accomplished by doing that? And then similarly, those people are not harmed by like people going to church in any way. Typically those people are just like want to validate themselves that their own beliefs are good. And so similarly, trans people weren't doing anything to J.K. Rowling, and then she just started like being like vocally anti-trans in a very toxic way. And it's like, yo, how about you like let people be comforted in their own identities and feel like supported and finally feel like they live in a time and a space where they can like be themselves. And then she's like, but what about the bad things? And it's very similar to how like people who are anti-immigrant go like, but they're not bringing their best people, they're bringing murderers and stuff. And it's like, no, we just want to let Jordan back in the country. Can Jordan please come back in the country?
I would like into your country that's fucking full of murderers.
like
already
he just wants to make a podcast
that have grown up there. You got plenty of your own murderers.
Yeah, but it's like so convenient to be like, oh, what about the exceptional bad people? And it's like the exceptional bad people are everywhere.
Yeah.
Take any identity from any walk of life and you can find the exceptional bad people. It's like, are all clowns outlawed because of John Wayne Gacy? They probably should have been. Maybe that's a bad example because fuck
Actually, I would
clowns.
appreciate it.
No, just kidding. Clowning is a whole community that I can't clown on because it's also not problematic. People just like clowning.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you're scared of clowns, you can let other people have fun with them. You know what I mean? Hey, let it roll. I mean, the important thing about JK is that she wasn't just, she was adamantly anti-trans and she had a platform. This all would have been terrible enough. But then she was like really proactive about it, like actively
really proactive.
Putting
That's the thing I don't
petitions together to
understand.
block funding for charities and shit.
Oh, do you guys know what her new book is about?
Oh my God.
It's about a man who dresses up as a woman to kill his victims. He's a murderer.
What is wrong?
So it's like, oh, fantastic. Why? Why did you need to do that?
That's how you know
What was
he's
the reason?
crazy.
That's the problem. Like, I feel like a lot of people don't know how to mind their own business because what did you gain? What do you gain for actively being against trans people? I don't understand.
It's a turf thing, right? Trans exclusionary radical feminist, which as a term is very frustrating for me because I am very comfortably a feminist. It's not that portion that I would take issue with.
Yeah.
It's the first two words in that acronym,
But even feminist now is like, if you say that on the internet, it's like, oh, you're a feminist? Then like, it's almost like how
you think women should be in charge and all men should die? Like, no,
it's like how people have taken Black Lives Matter and they've turned it into a bad thing. It's like, how did you manage to do that?
Yeah.
People were just minding their own business, trying to, I don't know, not be killed by the police. And then people were like, they're destroying everything. And I'm like, oh, you mean the insured buildings that millionaires own? Sorry, Chad. Like, Chad, this isn't affecting you. They're fine. Do you remember the housing crisis? Do you remember how all the rich people continue to get rich off of like taking advantage of people like that aren't in their class? Like, how do you not see this happening in front of your eyes?
Chad, they took your house. It wasn't like you had a bad time. They told you it was something else, but they did that.
Mm-hmm.
When Chad wins the lottery, when his number comes in, like,
it's going to be so embarrassing for us.
He's going to be so embarrassing for all of us talking.
We're going to be like,
him,
subscribe to the podcast, please, Chad.
But yeah, all I'm saying is be kind to people. And I know that some people are going to be like, well, you talk about people on the internet. Isn't that the same? And I'm like, no, my friend, it's not.
Courtney, do you get much of that, the classic Cody Koza cyberbully stuff?
No, I mean, okay, the only time I've gotten it is mostly for my rating TikToker apology videos. They'll be like, stop using your race as what do they say? Stop using your race as an opportunity to make fun of little kids. And I'm like, one, I don't even try and make fun of the kids. I don't talk about their appearance. I try not to do any of that.
You let them off very, like, I would say that, like, you were nowhere.
Yeah, I try not to say anything too offensive or anything because, I mean, they're kids at the end of the day. So it's crazy when I see comments like that, but I don't get that a lot, honestly.
It's really just like people are kind of like using whatever fits their narrative. But I think that like you are actually doing these people a favor by, I don't know. It's like you're kind of like laughing with them in a way, being like, these are dumb kids. They're making mistakes. Clearly, why are they putting themselves in the situation? You could have easily just not done the bad thing.
Yeah.
And like, there's just so much more toxic commentary and comedy out there that it's weird that people don't take issue with that stuff. And instead take issue with people who are like actually doing a lot of things in good faith. Like it never tracks with me. So one person asked, and this is a great question to start, why are you all so fine?
Great question. The immortal question, right? Possible to know.
Ask my mom and dad. I don't know.
I know. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. If you could visit any place after Rona, where would you go?
I would say Nigeria because I always have a good time when I go.
Is your family from there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that would be a nice time.
Did you spend much time there growing up, or?
No, but I went this December. I was there from December to January. But that was a nice time. But yeah.
Jordan, where would you go? Where would you go after Rona's? Maybe my apartment?
Yeah, dude. I wanna roll up. Big surprise. Guess who? Cough cough. Sorry. Whoops. I know. You know where I want to go? This has been really on my mind, and I think it's just since I left, I guess, for the contrast. I miss SF, man. I miss San Francisco.
Oh, yeah?
I was just chatting with a couple of friends of ours over the last week or so, just like having a remote drink chat type thing, just independent little dates with them. And I missed that squad, like specifically, that when we all worked at Patreon, and no matter what, if you sent out like a question in the text thread, just like, anybody want to go get a drink after this? There just always was. Azalina's the best food in San Francisco. I missed that. I would go to see Azalina. Hey, what up, girl? Can I have some Mamak chicken, please? Love you. Little things like that. Like, I'm not really in a vacation mood. I kind of just want like comfortable little things that I missed. Like, I want to go to the restaurants I went to. I want to go to the Zara I went to, not even a different Zara. Like, I want to go to the same shit, get back in my rhythm.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go to California. I've never been.
Oh, you never been?
Oh, yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, come visit when the world is safe.
I might give it
California's
a break.
good.
One of the worst places you can go right now.
I know.
I like California. I feel like jealous of the people who grew up on the West Coast, because I had to like travel all the way over here, and these people like they like got to grow up in this nice little climate. I can't do heat, so that's why I had to leave the South personally.
Yikes. Yeah.
Wait, isn't
I just
California
sweat
hot?
instantly. It's hot, but not the same way. Like, it's not humid.
Oh, okay.
Florida was like 100% humidity. You're like swimming through your own sweat. It's not a good time.
Yeah.
What's something that you, like, if you were to move, I know, I don't imagine you do have plans to do that, but if you were to move, what's something you think you would just not be able to get that's a Texas thing?
Texas is cheap. I don't know where I would be moving, but let's say if I was moving to California, I heard it's expensive, so I would miss the cheap lifestyle of Texas. But that's about it. Yeah, that's about it.
That actually sounds kind of appealing.
Yeah.
Oh, and also like the niceness of people, I guess. Yeah.
Yes. I miss like Southern charm or whatever.
Yeah. So since I've grown up with that, I don't really know how it is anywhere else. Right. But yeah, I'm assuming I'll miss that a lot.
I think I come off as like really polite to people because I grew up in the South, which is nice because I'm not trying to do anything different than like how I was raised. So I guess it's like helped me in life.
I know this is an exclusively me question, but this genuinely always makes me angry when I see it. Especially if
I
it's
saw
coming
that.
from
I saw the
Americans.
question.
Somebody asks, where in England are you from, Jordan? You sound posh. I'm not posh. I don't sound posh normally. I have to articulate myself when I stream or record myself because you fuckers don't know what I'm saying. I'm from the Cotswolds. We don't articulate any consonants. Like that, the way I just said consonants is insane to me. Like it's like my tongue hurts when I like push it out of my body. But no, thanks for taking the swing, I guess. How about you? You sound posh in
You
text.
sound posh. That question sounds posh.
How about that? West Yorkshire. That's the poshest place you can be. It's not particularly.
In West Yorkshire, born and raised on the Cotswolds is where I spent most of my days. All right.
Chill out, relaxing, playing some cricket.
Sorry, now I'm trying to complete the lyric on that song.
Playing some cricket, thinking up lyrics.
Before we wrap up, like, what would you say your relationship with like your mental health is, if you're comfortable like speaking on it?
Like, are you talking about my current mental health?
No, just like in general, like lifelong. Have you always been like a happy person, or like, it sounds like you come from like a really supportive environment, and so you've like got a good community around you. It seems that way. Is that not true? You're shaking your head.
I mean, it's good now, but like, I guess, what's it called? The beginning of college wasn't that good for me. Just because I guess the transition of everything, and especially since I wanted to do YouTube, school was getting in the way of that. And then also, I think I didn't do that well my freshman year. And so I was trying to catch up my sophomore year, and it just felt like nothing was going my way. And so that was a hard time. And I feel like I also wasn't like really religious like that. I was barely going to church, and I felt lost in a way. And then it wasn't until like my senior year of college, and I started to really get back finding God, you know. And then I don't know, I just started posting a little bit more than I was before, and everything was getting better. Right now, I'm good.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
I'm
then
happy
the
to hear
support.
it. That's awesome.
Yeah, in terms of support and stuff, at first my parents really, like my family and everything, because my grades weren't that good in the beginning, they thought YouTube was a huge distraction. And so it sucked because I didn't have that support. I also didn't have time to film and edit, and I also just wasn't doing good in school. And so it was just a lot, but you know, everything is good, especially since I'm doing it full time. So
yeah, no, that's so exciting. If you know, you were giving advice to your younger self, maybe freshman year of college, when things like aren't feeling good, is there advice that you would give to that version of you?
Don't skip class. But and also it gets better, really. I feel like that sounds cliche and everyone always says that, but it's so true.
No,
everything,
it's valid.
It always gets better, always. Yeah,
I'm a big believer in that as well, because like no feeling, even the worst of feelings or the best of feelings, is permanent. And that's like helpful to remember, because like even if you're in the darkest of days, you can know that this has to pass, because no feeling you've ever had in your entire life has lasted forever. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. Bet on future you. At the very least, you'll know more.
I feel like that's a really good like note to end on.
Yeah.
What do you think? It's very, very, very zen, very, very, very nice. Okay, Courtney, thank you so much for joining us. Like, where can the people find you? Because they've clearly become fans by now. They're chomping at the bit to follow your stuff any and everywhere they can. Where are you at?
Okay, I'm on YouTube, Courtreezy, Instagram, Courtreezy, Twitter, Courtreezy with an underscore, COURTREEZY. Courtreezy.
Yes.
And if
thank you so much.
You're a member of her family, you can call her that in person. It's apparently the rule.
In fact, you must, in order to remain family, because if you don't call her Courtreezy, you are actually kicked out of
You're
the
a poser,
family.
yeah.
But that's what she told us backstage. We end every episode of Sad Boys with a particular phrase. We love you.
And we're sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Gucci girl, how you doing? How you moving, girl? Moving, girl, how's your day looking? That future girl, yeah, we on now. Take my money, go away, all you want it. Girl, too rich for me.